There is a specific kind of quiet that arrives at night that does not feel like peace. The day is done. The noise has stopped. The obligations have released their grip. And instead of rest arriving the way it should, gradually and naturally, the way sleep is supposed to come, something else shows up instead. The mind accelerates. Thoughts that had nowhere to go during the hours when everything was moving suddenly have all the space they need, and they take it. The conversation from 3 days ago, the decision that has not been made yet, the thing that was said in a tone that might have meant something, the future laid out in worst-case scenarios, with a precision and a vividness that the daylight hours never quite produce. It is not that anything new has happened. Nothing has changed between 10 in the evening and midnight. The circumstances are identical, but the mind at night is a different instrument than the mind during the day. And for some people, that instrument turns loudest in exactly the hours when they most need it to go quiet. Psychology has a specific explanation for why this happens, and it is more mechanical than most people realize. During the day, the brain operates in what researchers call task-positive mode, oriented outward, focused on doing, engaged with the immediate demands of the environment. That outward orientation suppresses the default mode network, the region associated with self-referential thinking, rumination, and the kind of circular internal processing that overthinking actually is. The noise of the day keeps the noise of the mind at a manageable volume. But at night, the external demands disappear. The default mode network activates fully, and for people whose minds are already oriented toward depth and reflection, people who process more thoroughly, feel more deeply, and notice more than average, that activation does not produce gentle reflection. It produces the particular spiral of someone whose mind has been given complete freedom and no clear direction, and has decided on its own to revisit everything unresolved, everything uncertain, and everything that carries even the faintest emotional charge. The overthinking is not random. It follows a pattern that most night thinkers recognize. It gravitates toward the incomplete. The brain has a well-documented bias toward unfinished things. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect, a tendency to hold open loops in active memory until they are resolved. During the day, those open loops compete for attention with everything else. At night, they rise to the surface one by one, and the mind circles, each one looking for a resolution that thinking alone cannot provide. Because most of what keeps people awake at night is not a problem that can be solved by thinking harder about it. It is uncertainty. And uncertainty does not resolve through more analysis. It resolves through time and action, and the willingness to accept that some things cannot be known in advance, no matter how thoroughly they are examined in the dark. There is also something worth understanding about the emotional texture of nighttime overthinking that separates it from ordinary problem solving. The thoughts that arrive at night carry a weight that the same thoughts do not carry during the day. A worry that would be easily manageable in daylight becomes the only thing that exists in the dark. This is partly biological. Cortisol levels and emotional regulation are genuinely different at night, and partly the absence of the competing stimulation that keeps difficult feelings proportionate during waking hours. The night removes the context, and without context, everything feels larger than it is. But the people who overthink at night are almost never people with nothing worth thinking about. They are people whose inner lives are rich enough, and whose awareness is deep enough. The thoughts are not the problem. The timing is. And what the nighttime overthinker is often really trying to do, underneath all the replaying and the worst case imagining, is to find an answer, a conclusion, a certainty, something that will finally allow the mind to let go. But most of the things that keep people awake at night cannot be solved in the dark. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is stop searching for the answer tonight. Get some rest. The mind works differently when it is tired, and so do you. Yes, you think deeply. That is not the problem. Learning to rest alongside that depth, that is simply the next thing to learn. I hope you find a moment of peace today.